Hey everyone, it's Evan from the Trade Risk, Tuesday, February 24th, and I'm going to bring you some trade ideas and just a little bit of analysis on the indices, but I want to keep it brief, short video with just a handful of actionable trade ideas for the rest of the week. And as always, if you like the video, please do subscribe. Bottom left YouTube channel keeps you up to date with the latest ideas and analysis. So we'll start with the SPY, and really this move continued today higher. Friday we saw this breakout from this upper level consolidation that we kind of hung in here for a few days. A pause day, rest day yesterday, and then we saw some continuation today. Most of the indices all in the same boat. IWM didn't close on the highs of the day, still managed green. A sluggish day, sort of overall, and it felt that way. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth. There were some fast moves out there intraday, but ultimately the bulls got it done, rallied us off the lows and closed us near the highs, and pretty much across the board on these indices. So let's jump into some actionable names. First is Jazz. There's a couple of long ideas here. It's a biotech name. 176.50 more or less is this resistance level I've been watching. It basically tagged it right at the close of the day. I didn't take it. I'm not in this, but if you see some continuation tomorrow, this one could be pretty actionable. Take a look at a weekly chart. You can see we've been here before last year, really, and it's been basically chugging up back to this level all of 2014. We're here again, 176.50, not the all-time highs, but it is a significant area, so that's a good one to have on watch for the rest of the week. IBM, I actually got long IBM today. I'm long it overnight. I like this pattern. I like this bottoming pattern, and I like today's candle in particular. Look at this nice engulfing bar, basically, engulfing the past few days' actions, but especially Monday's candle there. 164.50, 165, above these November, December highs can get you pretty quickly back into this, sort of a volume null in here, and price can move pretty quickly through this level if it can break above 165. So certainly not out of the woods yet. It's still, has to see some continuation tomorrow. But I am long it. I like the potential here with a pretty tight stop. I think this sets up pretty nicely. So that's another one there. UNG, natural gas. Now, I was actually in this for a long trade. I made, pennies, 20 cents on it. Or so, and 1510, this is a pretty actionable area. Now we bumped up against it midday today, and honestly I thought this was going to be a signal for me today, but you can see it was a pretty gross fade back to the lows of the day, basically closing just slightly green. I think the important piece is, UNG's trying to shape up here. 1510's a pretty important level now for the bulls to overtake. Again, sort of limited supply up here. It gapped above 1510 back here at the beginning of the year, and then it just had a quick 2-day fade, and then it's been trading below it ever since. But you can see we're trying to get back. We're trying to creep up to this level again. So this name tends to get, natural gas tends to come with a lot of gaps up and down. So perhaps could be tough to get this if we do just open higher above 1510, similar to this day here back on January 14th. But keep it on watch. I think it could get you a pretty nice trade. A logical target here, 1660, and then you have a couple of these open controlling gaps here back from the end of 2014. So again, still a damage chart long term, but I think the basing action and the volatility of this name in general, I think you could get a nice little actionable swing trade on there, or at least an intraday trade above 1510. Another name, CINF. This one triggered today above 5260. Take a look at a weekly chart. You can see this has been a pretty significant area in the past, particularly at the end of 2013. So looks pretty good. I mean, very clean pattern, very cleanly cleared the past several months here as it's been bumping up against this level. So look for some continuation there. Still seems relatively actionable. Not a super high volatility name, but it's something that could trend nicely for a few days and weeks, and that could add up. EW, EW 135. It's a pretty actionable level in this. Tight sideways base, especially recently here. The past week or so of action has been creeping up against this 135 level. It tagged it today, closed slightly red. Still not ready yet. You want to see some more commitment. You want to see a nice igniting bar get through this 135, but if it does, I think you got a nice little setup there. And finally, for long ideas, we're looking at Oracle. 44.25. Again, this past week or so, past 1 or 2 weeks really, has been getting tight up against this level, and it looks like it, could be shaping up to make a move and bust through this resistance level. And I think if you can get that, you could get a pretty nice trade, or a quick trade back towards these highs that we made back at the end of 2014. So keep 44.25 on watch. It's a little sleepy right now, but it could wake up here over the next few sessions. And now let's look at a couple of short names. I only got 3 of them. The first, ABG. This I actually took this short. It's the first short signal I've had in a while, or first one that I've taken in a while. So I'm actually in this. I like the breakdown below this $78. You can see it's down a little over 1% today, so it clearly underperformed. This $78 level was a breakout level to have on watch. It broke through at the beginning of the month, pretty much went sideways, and you can see it's starting to fail now. So definitely need to see some continuation. It's still pretty actionable, but I think if it can continue down here, it could get sucked back into the mid-lower end of perhaps this larger range here. So it's something that's still potentially interesting tomorrow, depending on how it opens, and I will be quick to exit if it can reclaim, 78.50 anywhere near there is probably enough for me to exit. So keep a tight stop on that one. And USO, so we all know USO here. It's one of the most widely watched names over the past 6 months. It's been basing out in this rectangle here, came off of this low right around 16.25, came upside, had a nice 3-day move, and it's basically gone sideways now for 2 weeks, so it tightened up. And this is a pretty actionable short now if it can lose this $18. Now, this obviously does come with some increased risk, just given the move that USO's already had. I know there's a lot of headlines with just this market and OPEC in general, so I have no opinion on that. But again, for a technical trade below this $18, it seems very likely that we would want to retest the lows, perhaps make new lows. So I think this one's a pretty actionable short if it can see some continuation lower below today's lows. And finally, TJX. This was a lot of the retail space was weak today. TJX 67, and 3/4, $68 is a pretty interesting level in TJ, and I think given the 2% down day just about today, looks like it wants to trade back into this messy range. You could get a pretty quick trade down to the $65 level. It's still sort of messy in here, but it is something that could see some follow through just given how potent the move was today. So that one could be an interesting one on watch for day trade tomorrow short, or potentially a few days swing hold. I'm not involved in it, but it could be interesting if that fits your style. So that's what I have today. I hope you enjoyed. Again, please do subscribe to the channel if you like the videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.